Hey, what's up guys? It's Yeti here. Welcome back to another video. Today is August 4th of 2020, and it's the day that Killjoy comes to American servers. And the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people had crazy opinions on her, how she's like either overpowered or just incredibly busted, or she doesn't fit in a game like Valorant. And I want to explain to you guys why I think she does, and even more so, I'll give you examples of other games. And just overall, like, I want to change the mentality of the community and how they see new characters and new maps and stuff like that. So, first of all, before you get into that, make sure to drop a like on this video. It really helps with the algorithm. You know, I've been working hard on both streaming and making YouTube videos, and, you know, all the love I can get, I will appreciate. Anyways, so first thing first is give it some time. I know it sounds crazy, but look at Reyna, right? Reyna came out. Even some pro players were making tweets like, delete Reyna, she's overpowered, remove her from the game. Look where she is now. She's basically balanced. I think she even received a buff. And she's fine. Like, in higher elo, like Diamond Plus, she's not even being played much. Like, I rarely see her in my games. And in lower elo, she's a bit of a, you know, pub stomper. But she's still not, like, busted. Like, I think someone like Raze is still stronger than her. And that's, like, a perfect example. Also, there's a character called Lilia. She's like the opposite, right? People think she's really weak because League is a more tactical game than Valorant. At least, like, you know, it's a MOBA. It's all about, like, tactics and the way you play the game. And people think she's really weak, the Lilia girl, but her win rate is, like, increasing so much. Like, in a week, it went up by 10%. So, like, it just shows that giving it some time is, like, really important in these competitive games. You can't just say, oh, insta buff, insta nerf, like, that doesn't work in these kind of games. So when Killjoy comes out, give her some time. Whether she's too weak or too good, we need for players to adapt to her. You know, we also need the actual Killjoy players to adapt to, you know, the maps, the setups, stuff like that. So that's like the first point, is don't jump on a bandwagon as soon as she comes out. She will probably not be balanced. At least, like, you know, balanced. You know what I mean? Players will not be used to her at start. The second point I want to address is a lot of people have been saying, especially on Twitter, that a turret does not belong in a tactical shooter kind of game. And in some way, I can see where they're coming from. I can understand that, but I want to take a step back here as someone who's played like 600 hours of Rainbow Six Siege just before moving to Valorant, right? There's this guy called Maestro, okay? He has a turret, or it's not really a turret, it's actually a camera, okay? It's like a ball, you have two of them, and you screw them onto the wall, and it goes literally like inside the freaking wall, and you lay down, and then you can look on your phone, kind of like a Cypher cam. And this camera is not destructible by bullets, except if you're like open it. I'm gonna explain that part later. So you have two of them. They're indestructible by bullets. You can only destroy them with, like, you know, EMPs or grenades or stuff like that. And they can also open up and shoot and do damage, right? And they do more damage, or let's say like same amount of damage as Killjoy does with her turrets. You know, it's very minimal. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that I think Killjoy's like will do like 4 bullets per burst, so a total of 12 damage point blank. Out of 150, it's not that much. And then Maestro does, like, I don't know, like maybe it's like even like a burst of like 111, so like 3 damage, or maybe it's a little bit more. But with Maestro turret, you can also destroy like utility drones, stuff like that, right? And I don't think Maestro's turrets are OP, or his cameras, whatever you want to call them. I think that Maestro's gun was more overpowered. I don't want to get too much into Siege now, but the point I'm trying to make is that, like, the cams were okay, they were fine. Like, I never cared. They were, it's, you know, it's a thing you have to destroy. It's like a part of your approach to the site. It's a part of your tactical approach. It's a part of your gameplay. And I think that, you know, the fact that these turrets will be usually placed where a player would be standing is fine. You know, we have many Molotovs, we have all these kind of things that we already know the turrets can get flashed. You know, like the drones can get flashed and stuff. So, like, you have so many ways to kill these turrets, and it's not a big deal. But if you're, like, running late into a site and you've already burnt all your utility, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. But it should be a problem. That's, like, her kit, right? So I don't think that it's, like, the core idea of the turret is bad. That's like my point number 2 is I don't think it's okay to just say, oh, this is bad. This is not going to work in a tactical shooter. We can't really say that. I think the idea is actually really good. And Riot said that this is one of the first 3 characters that were being developed for the game, for Valorant. So that's like a very important topic that we have to know as well. Topic number 3, pretty big one as well. It's Cypher versus Killjoy. Now, this is something they've also mentioned. They said that they don't want these characters to have the same role. And let me give you a little example here, right? Let's say we're playing on Haven. It's the 3-site map. We have Cypher playing on A site. He's anchoring there. We have Sage anchoring B site. And we have Killjoy anchoring C site, right? So these are all characters that are currently really good at, like, you know, holding sites. Cypher used to be also he used to stall people harder. Like, his trap used to slow you. It doesn't do that anymore. Now only when you walk through the tripwire, that can, you know, slow you. You know, his smokes are just normal vision block, and it gives you like a sound when someone walks through it. And then, you know, lastly you have your camera, and then Sage has a wall and orb to just slow you really hard on B side. And then Killjoy has her turrets and information on C. And it's like you're holding all these sites, and Riot has said before that they want Cypher to be area control and Killjoy to be site control. So we might see some changes to like either of these characters to make them more specific to, like, you know, the reason why they were made, the reason why they were developed, and the reason they want them to be played. Like, they want Cypher to be good on both attack and defense because he can take control of any area, right? It doesn't have to be a site. They want Killjoy to be much better at taking control of site, you know? And they've also changed a lot about Sage already. They want her to be, I guess, primarily a support, but also, like, you know, a slower, you know? Which, that brings me to the point number, I believe it's 4. Yeah, it's number 4. That is right. I got my notepad here. It's roles in Valorant. Killjoy and all the, like, the discussion around her from Riot's side is hinting at more and more at, like, roles, which I really like. I like the idea of there being many characters, and I like the idea of everyone having their own main in some way, or at least their main role. And I think Riot is really trying to do that. Like, they're trying to make these characters have, like, you know, a specific play style, like a way the character is kind of meant to be played. Like, you can still do anything. This is a FPS game where you kill with guns, except Reyes, you know, she kills with everything. But you kill with guns, and you can do like anything with guns. But these characters will have these like specific approaches to sites or just gameplay, and, you know, it seems like we're gonna see more like roles in the game. Like, for example, you know, the same player could be playing Cypher and Killjoy, you know. They might make it like that, where not, you know, every character is going to be useful in every comp, basically. And I like that. I like the idea. Like, I think we're going to slowly get closer and closer to that, which brings me to point number 5, which is characters versus maps. A lot of people are saying, we want a new map in Act 2. Listen, map design is really hard. I would rather have more characters and less maps, and like I would rather have good maps and just keep replaying them. Like, please fix split, okay? Memes aside, like, making a good map takes a lot of time and resources because it's not that easy. And even after Riot will make a map, like, we're gonna have to have fixes and changes because a lot of characters tend to interact with maps, walls, high ground, etc. Maps in Valorant are like really hard to like make them really good. And I think I would rather have like a map come every like 6 months maybe and just make it a really good map. Like, make it something they have tested like internally and externally, because I feel like the amount of abuses that could happen with a poorly designed maps is fucking insane. Like, we already see it on like Split, you know, a map with insane choke points. Like, if you're playing Split for 6 times in a row, you're not enjoying it. I mean, I guess it's like that for most maps, but I feel like Split especially is like a map that really shows that it's not, you know, as good as the other ones. At least for me personally, like I like playing split in stacks, but split in solo queue is a nightmare because it's just the amount of choke points it has is just it's not it. Okay. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. These are the main points here. I'm really excited for Killjoy to come out. She's gonna be here on, you know, tomorrow for Europe, August 5th of 2020, because Americans get everything early, I guess. It is what it is. So Americans, enjoy her today. Let me know what you guys think about her. You know, make sure to make amazing plays with her. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you made it this far, remember to press that sub button. I would really appreciate that. More Valorant videos are coming your way. And have a good rest of your day. Later.